Hi, I'm going to be talking about CyclingMikey today. Now, if you don't know who that is, CyclingMikey is a content creator based in London. His content revolves around him driving around London on his bicycle and recording people committing crimes, soft and hard. Now, before we get further into that, an extra explanation is needed. He didn't initially start this out to make content. It just kind of gathered. Mikey initially would just record people on his GoPro, whatever other camera he has, and would press record when he saw someone breaking the law. Then he'd go up to them and speak to them and suggest why they're breaking the law, in a fairly calm fashion most of the time. Now, as you can guess, a lot of the time people were a bit cheesed off by this because he was directly reporting it to the police. The police in 2015 started a new scheme, basically where just members of the public could catch footage on their dash cams, on their phones, whatever it might be, sent into the police, and those people committing the crime, this is for motor crime, that were committing those crimes would be reported and, they'd follow them up if it was deemed serious enough. Now, it's suggested that Mikey's done over 2,000 different, offences. He's reported them, and of those 2,000, most of them have been prosecuted. Which is interesting, because in a few videos, Mikey talks about off-air, when he's not recording on his bike, how many people he's caused to lose their jobs and things like that, that when the police have then followed up and said what's happened. And the fact he's able to not only keep doing it, but also justify this to himself is a bit interesting, and it's probably why so many people have a problem with him. Now, a lot of the grievances with Mikey is he gets quite upset at people who are kind of not really breaking the law. It's soft laws that they're breaking sometimes. It will be they're in traffic, it's a red light, they're 6 cars back and they're on their phone changing music, and he'll knock on their window and say, "Hello miss, you're breaking the law." And there's something about that that does cheese you off as a regular human, because if you're stationary in a car, you can't really do that much damage. And if you can do damage, it's probably not your fault. So it's a bit of a strange one, and people like that often get cheesed off. Or when taxis, for example, park in the bike lane for a few seconds because someone has to get out at an exact spot. Lord forgive them, it's not that big of a deal. Yet someone like Mikey will take this and say, well, this is illegal, and you're getting reported to the police. They'll get their footage of their number plate and all that kind of stuff, and send a ticket into the police. And this is a bit pedantic, it must be said. But what is the actual reason he does this? Well, Mikey's father got hit by a car when he was younger, and since then Mikey's taken it upon himself to, rectify the roads of the UK, which are famously quite bad when it comes to the drivers on it. It's something that, as a motorcyclist, personally, it is a bit of a thing that, if you do get hit, it's like a 60% chance it's just not your fault. Because there are just so many unaware drivers that are looking at their phones. And so while Mikey is correct from that metric, it's something like 1 in 4 crashes is caused by someone that's distracted driving by their phone. And it's something about half are caused by distracted driving in general. Very few times is it just, random that Mikey's stopping people. He's not just pulling people over for nothing. And while it might seem very light, this is the reason he does it. Ultimately, we're going back to his childhood, something that's traumatized him, and he's resultantly let that shape the rest of his life. And while we can stand and laugh at that, that's a thing that most people do. That's not a rarity. A lot of our lives are formed by a young adulthood, childhood, and the foundations of our brain. If this has happened at a young age for him, it's obviously going to be a almost somatic memory now, to the point where he's going on living his life in reaction to this still. That's an issue with the human brain. That's not necessarily an issue with CyclingMikey. Now, you could say, well, what if he sees something that's really minor? Can't he just leave it? Also, why is he doing it in the first place? And that's a good question. Is he a vigilante, or is he just a bit of a knob? And the answer to that is kind of both. Because on the one hand, if people are worried about people like Mikey on the roads, they might drive better. And ultimately, that's a good thing. And not enough people drive properly without a lot of people drive on autopilot and they don't drive properly. They don't think clearly what they're doing. A lot of people also don't understand how a car or a motorbike, whatever vehicle they're operating, actually works. And that's concerning. If you're in a life or death situation, they don't have the technique to get out of it. So when these people who are already subpar at operating a vehicle are also distracted or doing something illegal, it's understandable why people like Mikey get annoyed. And this is leading into the final part of this video. It's the attacks on Mikey. A few of his videos, he's been attacked by the people he's, kind of recorded. That kind of makes sense to an extent, if you had some know-it-all come up to you and saying that you've broken X law and all this kind of stuff and you're doing something very minor, it's understandable. You're just like, dude, just bore off, you're being a pain. But then you've got people actively trying to hit Mikey in cars now. People actively trying to hit him on the roads. Just individuals, not even in vehicles. There was a kid the other day that ran up to him and tried to push him off his bike. And it's stuff like this. That's really disappointing because it says more about maybe what the people that are angry at him, who are unaffected by him, it says more about you than it does about him. He's trying to create a positive change in a slightly strange way, it's got to be said. But nonetheless, he's trying to do a good thing. He's trying to make the road safer, and it's a bit of a weird way of going about it, sure. That's why he has so many people that are slightly annoyed at him. But ultimately, when it comes down to the wire, he's not doing a bad thing. And his overwhelmingly negative reaction he gets most of the time seems to be a little bit frustrating. Nonetheless, we'll all have different views on him and how he does things and why he does it and the manner in which he does it. But why are people trying to hit him off his bike, man? This is a middle-aged man. And sure, he's doing things you might disagree with, but assault, really? Is that what we're doing? It's not right. Hot take hurting people might not be right, but regardless, thanks for watching. If you're still watching, why? And yeah, do all the funny stuff, yeah, like, dislike, subscribe if you enjoyed it enough. Yeah, okay, cool, see ya, bye bye, that's that, cheers.